Hello all. Welcome back to CSCAT Technologies. We apologize for the gap in between for our tutorials. It is due to immense amount of placements we have. If anyone out there is looking for a job, you can please send us your resume to our email ID or the WhatsApp to our phone number, which is given in the link in the description below, or you can also see the number and the link on the screen. Now, let us begin with a very simple example since we have taken a small break. This is a perfect example to understand the process of feature-based modeling. Now, there are three views. This is the front view, this is the right view, this is the top view. Now, while understanding the views, there is a section view which is actually at this location. You can see this is your section view. Now, there are two ways of making this model. You can either completely take a block and start removing this material and then add whatever the other features are, or the other way of making the same model is by taking three different bars and welding them together. So the first way of working on feature-based modeling might be an issue because there's a larger amount of material which goes as a waste, and it might not be cost effective for any manufacturing company. So let us try to work on the second option. Let us begin under mechanical design. We do have part design as usual. Now, first we need to maintain the dimensions. Whenever you're going for the tool test, it is the first thing they check is how you have maintained the dimensions. Have you controlled them as per the model? If we edit or change one dimension, all the features depending on the dimension should auto update itself. This is what usually the first thing they do while you attend a tool test, after you attend a tool test. Now, the first one is I want to maintain 72. This is my reference and the material is actually added onto the other side. So first let me take 72 as a reference. This is my center. I am just keeping a point on one side and I like to mirror this point onto the other side. This is actually only my reference. I am controlling the dimension in between these two and giving it as 72. I am going to use these to continue making the model. We know the overall height is 130. So let's directly enter into a pad command and start making our sketch. Again, as I mentioned, I'm going to use this as a reference and I'm keeping it in a construction format. I do not want this to be in a normal one. From here, again unchecking the construction format, I have we know the dimension from here to here is 9 and the typical means throughout the body the dimension is supposed to be 9 mm and the overall height is 130. Now, once I exit, you can see this, and then since it's supposed to be added equally onto the other side, let us try to do equal side mirrored event addition of material on both the sides up to 45, which is 45 by 2. It does it on both the sides. Now, you should never mirror this feature. For instance, you can directly select this and do the mirror operation. A lot of people tend to do this. This is particularly not allowed in any tool test or in any 3D designing technique because it's a one single component and one single component cannot have two bodies lying in the air. They cannot be detached from themselves. So instead what do we do is we create this top bar and then the other side. So for creation of the top bar, we follow the same process. We use this as the reference. As you can see. Now I'll try to make a rectangle from here. Now we know that the 9 mm is typical as I've already explained. Now the overall dimension for this is from this end to this end is 90. That is from this end to this end is 90. Do not subtract and give this length dimension. Instead, give the distance from this to this end as 90. This way you will be maintaining the dimensions, and also in the future or any later cases, if this 72 should be changed, which is the initial 72, the whole model will auto update itself. I can show you how. Here I will be selecting up to surface, and I will select the surface. On the direction 2, let me try to select the other surface. Rotating the model. The back side and say okay, this is the model. Now, like in the beginning I have said, if I want to change this, for example this is 72, I change my mind and I want this to be 80 and say exit. Now as soon as I say control U, or it actually auto updated, the model updates itself without failing any feature. That is how you control by keeping the 90. Had you subtracted that particular dimension, then this 90 wouldn't have maintained, it would have maintained 90 minus 9, which is 81. Now, you can either mirror this or do it again, it's up to you. I'll just try to mirror this. And then it auto creates one here. This is your actual model. Now, there are few addition of features, like there is one circle over here, which is of 34 dia on 3 sides, that is 1, 2 and 3. And then also there are holes and there are few ribs. So first let's focus on adding the material. Before that, let's try to create this full round. Full round is actually called a tritangent fillet in CATIA. You can just select the opposite faces in between what you want the round and where do you want the semicircle. I want it on this face and then you'll get it here. The same thing can be done on the other side as well. These are the two faces I'd like to have a fillet on. This is the second face, this is the third face. These are my fillets. Now on this I'd like to add the material. As you can see, the addition of material is 12. So let me try to take it over here. Now there is a center for this, so whenever I'm trying to make a circle, I'll try to maintain concentricity as a constraint. Just select both, right click and say concentricity, and the diameter of this is supposed to be 34, so let's try to take that as 34. Now this is only up to 12. Now this feature can be mirrored onto the opposite side since it's welded onto the other side as well. Let me try to take mirror. And then there's one on the top as well, which is exactly at the center. So let's try to do pad on this. And since we already know the center, we can just directly take a circle at the center. Probably give all the constraints which you're supposed to. And then give the dimension as 34. The same, this is also supposed to be till 12 mm, so I'm just going to say. Now, continuing with the drawing, let us understand the most important thing is, whenever you have a round, the round is actually reflected onto the ribs or the supports. As you can see, there's a round, the ribs are also reflected on the round. So when this type of conditions happen, you are supposed to give fillets before proceeding ahead with creating your ribs or your supports. So let's try to give that round since we know it's R2. So let's try to select these corners and then try to give 2. Gives the rounds. Now you can start continuing by making your continuing with the ribs. You can use stiffener as the command. So once I select stiffener, I can start making my sketch and then using my references to create the support. Can be this way and then this way. Now the edge usually does not give you the support, so let me try to make a line this way, and we already know that the length from the base is 108. So once I exit, it will ask you what is the thickness. You can give the amount of thickness and then say okay. This can be mirrored onto the other side as well because we need it onto the other side too. Now, the same are available on the top as well, as you can see. We'll assume we'll assume these are on this side of the body, as you can see it on the top view. So let me take a stiffener again and then select the sketch and start making my profile. Use this as my reference and this as my reference. Okay, assuming that the distance, since the distance is not mentioned, assuming the overall distance from here to here is around, from the center, is around 40, and say exit. It tries to create, I'm sorry, it tries to create the body. I need this reference as well. It won't take the corner, so let me try to not take it exactly at the top. Take it a little bit down and then do it till here. And then take it as a 10 mm. Now, similarly, the same thing should be onto the other side. So I'm just using the mirror operation and doing it onto the other side. These are your 4 ribs. Now, you can now make your holes and then give your rounds, because holes are the finishing operations are supposed to be done towards the end. So there are 3 holes which is 18 through. So let me try to take them 18 and then say through, and then position the sketch. Since we all know it is supposed to be concentric with the existing circle, let's try to maintain concentricity and do it. Similarly, onto the other side as well as on the top, we can do the same, because they are of the same dimensions. And then do it on this side as well. And then take a hole on this face. Maintain the concentricity. The final operations are the finishing operations, which are nothing else but your rounds. So let me try to give rounds here first, and then rotate the body and then try to give it on the other side as well. This is 10, and then there are a few rounds on the top as well, which is supposed to be 4. So let us try to give those 2. This as well as this is supposed to be 4. This is your final model. You can see them in different shadings as well. I can increase and show it to you. You can also see them in different shadings, like as you can see in normal ones, and how do you feel it in different options. Please feel free to contact us if you're looking for any advanced level of training in CATIA, or as a matter of fact, any other CAD software. Also, if you're looking for a job, we do have few opportunities currently at the moment. So you can send your resume. I will keep all the details in the description below. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please subscribe for more.